The betting pools had closed at astronomical odds against the human. Commander Zexhai clicked his mandibles in amusement as he watched the small biped stretch in the preparation chamber. The creature barely reaching his shoulder appeared, fragile even by Deathworlder standards. Her pale skin showed no natural armor, no venomous glands, no obvious predatory adaptations. Just lean muscle wrapped around a delicate frame, topped with an unruly mass of dark hair. She volunteered? Zexhai asked his aide, unable to hide his disbelief. Yes, Commander. When we seized her vessel for smuggling contraband medical supplies to the Outer Rim colonies, she requested trial by combat rather than face the labor camps. The Vorthic aide's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. She insisted on the Grand Arena format. The Grand Arena where prisoners faced waves of increasingly dangerous opponents until death or surrender. No human had ever lasted past the 3rd wave. Most species considered it a form of ritualized suicide. What's her name? She calls herself Sarah Chun, medical officer, according to her ship's records. Zexhai studied the human through the reinforced viewing panel. Chun sat cross-legged on the chamber floor, eyes closed, breathing with mechanical precision. Her only request had been for her ship's medical kit, an odd choice for a gladiator. Most prisoners demanded weapons, armor, stimulants. She'd asked for bandages and synthetic blood. The arena floor stretched 200 meters across, its surface scarred by countless battles. Spectators filled the towering galleries, a mix of species from across the hegemony, all eager to witness a Deathworlder's final moments. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation, and the smell of exotic foods from a dozen worlds. At precisely noon, local time, the gates opened. Chun walked into the arena without fanfare, the medical kit slung across her shoulder. She moved with fluid economy, each step calculated. The crowd's excited chittering echoed off the dome above. The first wave consisted of 6 razor-winged screamers, aerial predators from the hunting preserves of Calax Prime. Their talons could shred plasteel. Their sonic attacks rupture organs. They swooped down in perfect formation, aiming for the small figure at the arena's center. Chun didn't run. She didn't dodge. Instead, she pulled something from her medical kit, a small device no larger than her palm. As the first screamer dove, she activated it. The creature's sonic shriek cut off mid-note as it convulsed in midair, crashing into the arena wall with bone-crushing force. Neural disruptor. Military grade. The remaining screamers hesitated, confused by their pack leader's sudden death. Chun used their momentary pause to retrieve a second device, this one unfamiliar to Zexhai's trained eye. She threw it at the clustered predators with shocking accuracy. The explosion wasn't large, but it didn't need to be. The device scattered a fine mist that sent the surviving screamers into violent seizures. Within minutes, all 6 lay motionless. On the arena floor. The crowd fell silent. What did she use? Zexhai demanded. His aide's manipulator appendages flew across his data tablet. Analyzing. It appears to be a concentrated neurotoxin, derived from Terran flora. Something called ricin, enhanced with synthetic amplifiers. She made poison from plants? It would seem so, Commander. The second wave gates ground open, releasing 8 armor crushers, massive, slow-moving beasts bred for gladiatorial combat. Their shells could deflect plasma rifles. Their crushing limbs could pulverize stone. They advanced on chin like living siege engines. She opened her medical kit again. This time, she withdrew what appeared to be standard surgical equipment: scalpels, injection pods, monitoring devices. The crowd murmured in confusion. How did medical tools threaten creatures that laughed at military-grade weapons? Chun began to run not away from the crushers, but directly at them. She moved with inhuman speed, her small frame darting between their massive limbs like liquid shadow. When she reached the first beast, she leaped onto its back with impossible agility. The scalpel found the precise gap where the creature's neck armor met its skull. Chun's hand moved with surgical precision, severing specific nerve clusters. The crusher collapsed instantly, its nervous system shutting down like a powered-off machine. She rolled clear as the second beast swung at her, already moving toward her next target. Each kill was different injection pods delivering concentrated toxins to vulnerable organs, modified medical lasers cutting through armor joints, even improvised explosives built from diagnostic equipment. By the end of the second wave, 8 more bodies littered the arena floor. The guards who normally clean between waves refused to enter. "She's not just killing them," whispered Zexhi's aide, his voice hollow with awe. "She's studying them, learning their anatomy in real time." Indeed, Chen moved between the corpses with clinical detachment, examining her work, making notes in a small journal she produced from her kit. Her movement suggested not bloodlust, but scientific curiosity. The third wave never came. Commander Zexhi found himself walking onto the arena floor, his command staff trailing behind in nervous confusion. The human looked up from her examination of a crusher's nervous system, her hands stained with alien blood. "Fascinating neurochemistry," she said conversationally, as if they were colleagues discussing a research paper. "I've never seen triple redundant nerve pathways before. Very efficient design." "How?" Zexhi asked simply. Chen stood, wiping her hands on a medical cloth. "You asked the wrong question when you captured my ship. You assumed I was smuggling medical supplies to make profit. But those weren't just any medical supplies. They were neurological enhancement, drugs for treating combat trauma in human veterans." She gestured to the carnage around them. "I spent 3 years in the Terran Medical Corps, specializing in xenobiology and combat medicine. I've dissected specimens from 200 different species, studied their weaknesses, learned how their bodies fail under stress." The implications hit Zexhi like a physical blow. The hegemony had faced human military forces before, brutal, determined, but ultimately limited by conventional weapons and tactics. They'd never faced a human who understood alien biology better than the aliens themselves. "You're not a smuggler," he realized. "I'm a doctor," Chun replied, shouldering her medical kit. "And in human medicine, we have a saying, first, do no harm. But we also have another saying, the best defense is a good offense." She walked toward the arena exit, past a growing crowd of stunned officials and guards who parted before her. "Like water, those medical supplies I was carrying, they weren't for the Outer Rim colonies. They were field samples. I've been studying every species in your hegemony for the past 2 years, preparing detailed biological profiles." She paused at the threshold. "My ship's computer contains complete anatomical analyses of over 300 sentient species, including optimal methods for neutralizing each one. Where are you going?" Zexhi called after her. "Home," Chun said without turning around. "2. Share my research with Terran Command. They'll be very interested to learn just how fragile the hegemony's member species really are." As she disappeared into the corridor beyond, Zexhi realized that the trial by combat had served its purposely just not the way anyone had expected. The human hadn't been fighting for her freedom. She'd been conducting research. Now, she was taking that knowledge back to a species that had just learned exactly how to kill everything else in the galaxy.